Hey guys, and for today's video, I'm doing my Week 16 NFL predictions. We only have 3 more weeks of the NFL season. It's crazy. Regular season, I mean. But yeah, guys, we're going to be checking Week 15 like we usually do, guys. And yeah, this week I went 11-5. There were a couple of upsets. Like, here's the thing that was weird. Maybe not upsets, but it's like the Buccaneers destroying the Chargers. I thought it was going to be a closer game. And yeah, that was a dominating performance. The Cowboys destroying the Panthers. I thought the Panthers were going to stay around what they were doing before, but they went back to the form that they've been the rest of the year, other than that 5-game stretch. And yeah, guys, I mean, we did okay here. Let's move on to Week 16. Okay, so for our first matchup, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Browns, like I said, they were eliminated last week. The Chiefs just had a dominating game. They had one 60-yard touchdown one, but other than that, the defense did pretty good. For what they did, the Browns offense did absolutely nothing. Jameis just got benched during the game, and he's benched for the rest of the season for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So, yeah, he's not going to be getting it back. Like I said, but, yeah, nothing more to say there. Next, we got the Bengals. They won. They beat the Titans. Their offense is as good as usually been. It's their defense, giving up 28 to the Titans. The Bengals did have a good win here, but it's just the defense is still worrisome. It's there's still some issues, and they got to win out here to continue. So if they lose a game, they're eliminated. And I don't know why this game says it's on Thursday night. I think they flexed it out for Chargers-Broncos for some reason, but yeah. The thing is if the Bengals do enough offensively, they should be fine. Even though their defense isn't that good, the Browns' offense is not going to do that much. DTR is not that good, so it's the times that we've seen him play, he's probably 5 or 6 starts and he looked terrible in them. So this should be an easy game to him. I'm going to give the Bengals here, say 27-13. Okay, next we got the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans, they had a close game, but they got the win. That was some ugly football, though. They did get the win. They probably got this AFC South locked up. Have they already? I don't even know. It's all a win. They beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins couldn't do anything against their defense. They did enough offensively to win this game. Yeah, next we got the Chiefs. They beat the Browns. This was the first game in a while that wasn't close. They looked like that defense more early on in the year. But yeah, the one thing is Mahomes is injured. They're saying it's week to week. Carson Wentz is their backup. I mean, it is a little worrisome if he can't start for the playoffs. They said week to week, so I guess you never know. And they did this in the playoffs one time. Super Bowl run against the Eagles, I think. We're playing on 1 foot and they still were fine. So I'm just going to presume that he's going to play because he's come back from this. 75%, I guess. But yeah, there was just win on a game-winning field goal. I don't know. That's how I feel like this game's going. The Texans are going to mess up some way. They're going to win somehow. I'm picking 20-17 Chiefs. Okay, next we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens, the Steelers. This is the first bad game they played since the Browns game. That was probably the worst game of the year. They just got dominated. The offense couldn't do anything in the first half till the second half. No George Pickens really hurts. But he's coming back next week, so I guess we'll see. But they almost came back, had a chance, but Najee had a fumble that hit it. It was just a toss that hit his chest. That changed the momentum and kept it in the Eagles' favor. So yeah, next we got the Ravens. They played the Giants. That was a dominating win. No one's shocked. Lamar threw for 5 touchdowns that game. He had a great game against a Giants team that's tanking. But yeah, this game, here's the thing. The Ravens always make so many mistakes against the Steelers. And the Steelers contain Lamar really good. And if they do that as usual, they should win games. The last 2 years. Last game, they won by all field goals. The year before, they won on a Kenny Pickett audible, and it was a deep ball to George Pickens, 17-10. These have been low-scoring games they've been winning by the last 2 years. And the third time Lamar didn't play because they already had the first round bye. I'm a Steelers fan, so I know. Just the Ravens, I think, lost the last 8 of 9 against the Steelers. I'm picking the Steelers here. I don't know what happens in these games. I mean, they're competitive games, but the Ravens make a lot of mistakes. And it's going to be one of those games. I'm going to say... Do we go by field goals again? I'll say 20-17. Okay, next we got the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. The Titans, They benched Will Levis. I mean, Levis did not have that good of a game, especially playing the Bengals defense. Should be a layup. He threw a lot of picks, but they still scored 28 points. They benched him for Mason Rudolph in the game, and he's benched for the rest of the season, so time is up in Tennessee. But yeah, it's like nothing more to say here. Next, we got the Colts. They lost to the Broncos. It was close earlier, but Jonathan Taylor, he dropped the ball before the end zone. Why do players do that? What are you doing, Jonathan Taylor? I'm asking you. Why can't you just hold it to your, past the line in the end zone until you have both feet in the end zone? I just don't understand it. But yeah, that changed the momentum, and the Broncos destroyed them after that. And divisional matchup, it should be closer than people expect because divisional matchups are weird. But yeah, the key here is Anthony Richardson could hit on those deep balls. I feel like they should be fine. Or they on the big plays and they contain the Titans offense, which hasn't been that good this year. They can run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. The Colts can hit on the big plays, enough of them, which they could. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll win 24-17. Okay, next we got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots, they played the Cardinals. They got destroyed by them. I mean, they really couldn't do anything. They're eliminated. Their defense is not that good. Their offense really couldn't do that much stuff. So yeah, let's move on to the Bills here. It was another game like the Rams one, but they won. That was a good performance by the offense. Josh Allen is a dynamo. He's a beast. He's probably going to win MVP. I guess you never know. It's either him or Lamar probably at this point. But another good performance against the Lions, beating the best team this year in football. This game should be easy for Buffalo, but I've seen games where they've lost or kept it close with New England, or others where they destroyed them under Josh Allen. So I guess you never know. My key is if the Bills do enough, they should be fine. He doesn't have to play as good as he did those other weeks. I think they'll be fine, though. But I think the Patriots will put up a fight a little bit, especially with Jake Manzer QB. I'm going to go 31-20. Okay, next, on Thursday Night Football, we got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Broncos, they kept it close. It was a little worrisome. They were down, and then they got momentum back from that Jonathan Taylor fumble, and then, boom, they just exploded. The Broncos had a good game, and it was showing why they've been one of the best teams as of late. And they now hold the 6th seed, which is crazy. They're ahead of the Chargers. This one's huge for wild card implications because this could be either the 6th or 7th seed. And Denver's a game ahead. So if Denver wins another, they'd be 2 games ahead, and they probably clinch ahead of the Chargers. But yeah, it's funny how these teams have been the same since week 5 or 6 or something. They've been the same 7 wildcard teams, and they might stay that way. But yeah. Let's move on to the Chargers here. They just had a bad game. Their defense didn't play up to their standards. The offense didn't. It's why does this keep happening? They have no running game. And their defense is folded. It's just a bad game overall. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Every team has a bad game like this. So it's it's better now than the playoffs. But for this matchup, to me, it really comes down to what offense does more. Both defenses are pretty good. The Broncos had that bad defensive performance against the Browns. The Chargers last week against the Buccaneers. To me, it depends what the offense does more. Maybe it's not a bold take here, but I feel coming off that momentum here, I might take the Broncos here. It'll be a close one. I think it's going to be a close game either way. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers win, but I'm thinking the Broncos here had the momentum. 27-23. Like I said with the Chargers, Justin Herbert can't do everything. The Chargers haven't been playing as good as of late, so it's a little worrisome. So I think they're going to keep it here. Denver's been playing pretty good. The offense has been really good. With the Chargers, it's they're more conservative, especially, which is weird when they have as good of a QB as Justin Herbert. But let's continue here. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Las Vegas Raiders. A tank bowl. The Jaguars. That game was actually pretty good. I can't lie. It was close, but they barely lost. Mac Jones had probably his best game in a while. Played pretty decently. They just lost. This is good for their tank, though. I mean, I'm not going to say more. Let's move on to the Raiders here against the Falcons. And it was a terrible game. Just looking at the score of it, it's was it 15-9, I think? And they lost, and the tank for Shedeur Sanders continues. But the Raiders aren't that good. Nothing more to say. And for my matchup here is, who wants to lose more? But I guess Doug Peterson and Antonio Pierce are fighting for their jobs. My matchup here is, what offense does more? And I think the Jaguars' offense, especially last week, yeah, they've been inconsistent, but I feel both teams around as bad because it's like the Jags have Brian Thomas Jr., but the Raiders have Brock Bowers, so it's kind of tough. I feel to me, it really depends on the running game. I think the Jags running game's a little better. Well, what a beautiful football we got. And I think Mac Jones is a little better. So I'm going to take the Jaguars here in a really low scoring game, 17-13. Okay, the next game is the Los Angeles Rams at the New York Jets. The Rams, the weather was pretty bad there, so I guess we give the offense a pass. They did get the win, but that was a sloppy game, though. Let's continue on to the Jets here. They had a shootout against the Jaguars. They're finally showing the offensive potential they had all year, and it's after they're eliminated. It's like, that's such a Jets thing to happen. They had all this potential they're squandering, and now they finally show what their offense could be with Davante Adams. It's like, this is what we're waiting for. Davante Adams had like almost 200 yards in the second half, and it's just like, squandered. They still got the win. But, like, does it do anything? Rodgers probably isn't even coming back to the Jets, even if he wants to. It's like, doesn't even matter. But for this matchup, it's like the Rams offensively have been inconsistent. They have enough offensive weapons to do stuff. But here's the thing, it's just the Jets, too. It's like, they've both been inconsistent. So it's like, who's going to be on or not? It's honestly hard to decide. Like, I think I'm going to just take the Rams here because they have more to play for. Honestly, that's my only reasoning. I'm going to give it a close one. I'll say 23-20. Okay, next we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Miami Dolphins. The 49ers, they played in a sloppy game too. They lost this one. Their year's probably done for the division, and the wild card's going to be tough. Washington would have to lose out. They have to win out. So, like, it's tough there. I mean, I guess they could still get the division if they win out, the Rams lose out, but it's like, your year's probably done. Yeah, it's a sloppy game. Let's continue the Dolphins here. This is what I was saying. I picked them to win, but they can't beat good teams or they can't play good in cold weather. I don't understand it. It's like this team's good enough to make the playoffs, but do nothing. They'll probably like a wild card exit every year. And it's like the offense isn't as explosive as years past. The defense is not good. They had so many chances to win this game and they just couldn't do it. Like the Dolphins just aren't that good. They're just kind of mediocre, to be honest. And it's just like they're playing the 49ers who have been injured back, you know. They played a really good game against the Bears, the 49ers did. But so I think they're going to be still playing hard because it's like they still have something on the line for. And Miami's at home. So I think the Dolphins will get this win here. More high score. I think it'll be close, 27-24. Okay, next we got the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. The Lions, they got their first loss since losing to Tampa Bay like first couple weeks of the season. Their defense, they're screwed. I think they have 12 players on the IR now on defense. Aiden Hutchinson said he could come back, I think, for the championship game. I think he could be back then if they make it that far, or the Super Bowl. But it's like, I don't even know. They could be one and done just because of that defense. Losing all these players. Losing a whole starter's worth of players is just bad. I don't care what team you are, any team in the league. It's just unfortunate. This was probably their year two and their best shot. But yeah, let's continue. We got the Bears. They lost another game. They're 4-10. That's crazy. Like, I can't believe they started 4-2. Now they're 4-10. Another loss, and they got destroyed by the Vikings. Thing is, the Lions' defense may be battered, but all the Lions got to do is just score. I think more than, like, I think they just got to score mid-20s and they win this one. I think that's going to happen. The Bears are so broken right now. And they've been for, like, the past month and a half. Same Lions, 27-17. Okay, next we got the New York Giants at the Atlanta Falcons. The Giants, the Tank Bowl, them and the Raiders, they got destroyed by the Ravens. It doesn't matter for them. They're just trying to keep losing games. Nothing more to say. Next, we got the Falcons. They barely won, but there may be some hope with Michael Penix now starting. He's going to be starting now, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. Especially going up against an easy opponent like the Giants. This is the perfect chance for him to start. Hopefully you have a decent starter, then he can build it. And then I think they play the Commanders next week on Sunday Night Football. Alright, this game should be easy for them. Now they don't have to run it to the right. The thing with Cousins is they could only run the football to the right because of Kirk's Achilles. So now they're less limited. So this should make the Falcons a lot better offensively. If they score 20, they win. Falcons, I think, are going to have a good offensive performance. With Penix, I think they're going to win 24-10. Okay, next we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. The Eagles had a dominating performance. The defense, the first half, looked like the best defense in football. The second half, they looked a lot better. And here's the thing, Saquon didn't even have like an amazing game. He had a solid game, but he didn't play like amazing, which they still looked pretty good and stuff. So, yeah, the passing tag looked a lot better. So, yeah, they're probably looking like the best NFC team right now because of all the Lions' injuries. Like, they have a chance at this number 1 seed. But, yeah, next we got Washington. I don't know, man. This team is weird. They destroyed the Titans. Then they just almost beat the Saints. And the Saints went for 2. They almost choked a double-digit lead. It is a little worrisome. They've had some games, the Cowboys game, this game. They've had games like this, and it's like the Commanders are 9-5 still. This is probably going to be the wild card matchup, so probably see them one more time because like who's making it in as a 7th seed? The only team is Seattle really or Atlanta, but it's just like, and I think Washington plays Atlanta next week too, so that would be huge for them. But yeah, I think the Eagles are going to win this again, even though playing them a second time is a little different. The Eagles' defense has been really good. Say 24-17. Okay, next we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. The Cardinals, they destroyed the Patriots. They're keeping their season alive. They still have a chance. That chance is pretty small, but they haven't been that good as of late other than the Patriots games. So, yeah, let's continue. We got the Panthers. They had a decent 5-game stretch, even though they lost like almost all those games. But now they just got destroyed by the Cowboys and looked like they did most of this year. So he still looked a lot better like than he has in the past those games. One bad game's not going to change anything. But for me, this matchup, it's just now with that game, it's like, do they go back to form the Panthers or not? If they go back to form, it's going to be close. But if they don't, the Cardinals probably will win by 2 scores, just like they did against the Patriots. I think the Cardinals will barely win this one. I'm going to say 23-20. I think it's going to be another close one. They barely lose. Okay, next we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. The Vikings, they had another dominating win against the Bears. They have a chance for the division, which is crazy. And they play Detroit one more time too, but they play Seattle, Green Bay, and Detroit in this season. That's been kind of tough, but guess we'll see. They had a really good game on Monday night. Next, we got the Seahawks. This is why I don't trust them. Like, even the record, it's like I had a feeling they were going to get destroyed by the Packers, and they did. At home. Like, this is what makes them, to me, just like a mediocre team. Like, I don't think anyone in the NFC West is really good. I think maybe at best, maybe a little above average, but it's like the NFC West this year hasn't been too good. It's been okay. I guess it's just been the division of mediocrity, basically, but to me, all the Vikings got to do is just play good offensively like they've been doing all year mostly, and they'll be fine. The Seahawks have just been inconsistent offensively, and like they've just been a consistent team. Some games are on, some games are off. I think the Vikings will win 27-21. Okay, next we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys. The Buccaneers, they played a really good game, offensively and defensively. The offense couldn't be stopped, and Baker had a really good game. Mike Evans had a good game and had 2 touchdowns. Like, their defense played pretty good. It's like, this was probably one of the best wins of the year for them. It's a good win for Tampa Bay, looking like they have a chance for the division here. Like, I guess you never know. They're going to be in play for that 3rd or 4th seed. Let's continue on to the Cowboys. Good win against the Panthers, but it's like, does it even matter? You're 6-8. You'd have to win out, and the Commanders would have to lose out. So I don't know how likely that is. And they play the Buccaneers, who've had a really good offensive performance. The Buccaneers kind of remind me of the Bengals this year a little bit, but the defense has been a lot better than the Bengals. They haven't been historically bad. They've been bad, but not historically bad. So, and they play in the NFC South, which helps the Buccaneers too. But to me, if the Buccaneers offense does their thing, they'll be fine. The defense will be enough to stop the Cowboys. This game will be 24-14. Okay, next we got the New Orleans Saints at the Green Bay Packers. The Saints, wow, they almost won that game too. They came back from double digits. They had the drive and they couldn't get the 2-point conversion. I respect it. Their year's done now, but they were just trying to see if they could rattle off some wins. I mean, for that 7th seed. I would have went for 2-2 at this point in the year. It's like boom or bust at this point. And next we got the Packers. A dominating win. One of the best wins of the season for them. They destroyed the Seahawks. Jordan Love had a really good game. The offense was on point. It's a good win for them, especially in Seattle, which is a tough environment to play in. It's like one of the loudest places to play in. But yeah, they got the job done here, and they're playing in Green Bay here. This should be an easy game because the Saints play in a dome, and they won't be used to the weather there. So, like, I would say the Packers are better, but, dude, I think this game will be a blowout here. I'm going to take the Packers here. 27-13. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for my Week 16 NFL predictions. And yeah, guys, until next time, everyone, peace out. Bye.